state your name and municipality.
Hi, my name is Sandee Lovas. That's L-O-V as in Victor, A-S. I live at 9 Dietz, one of the apartment buildings slated to be removed for the project. I just wanted to say that I have no ill will against Killam themselves. If it wasn't them, it'd be somebody else. And I was actually familiar with Killam before they bought the properties. And I know that they treat their tenants well and try to offer them benefits because the retail company I worked for actually signed on with them for the Killam Card program, which allowed their tenants to get discounts at retail stores that signed on to this. But that said, I can only speak to my current situation. And I know that there's nothing I can do to prevent my apartment from going. And the powerlessness I feel over that, you can't really even put that to words. And this is not the first time I've been forced to move from where I live, but at least this time, I won't end up on the streets. I will struggle. The rent when I move will be crazy high, but I'll manage. I've always managed. But I'm worried for some of the people in my building who won't be able to manage. They won't be able to pay rent anywhere else in the city. This isn't just about my one building, it's about the hundreds of other people living in Waterloo that are in constant fear this same thing will happen to them. If people are forced to move, rent goes up exponentially. People are on fixed incomes, people are on low incomes, people already have roommates. We're in a situation right now where people are living in abusive situations with abusive neighbors, abusive landlords, abusive partners because they can't afford to move anywhere else. Ontario Works is currently only $733. ODSP is slightly more than that. The market rate for rent is more than those amounts. So we are basically telling people when they have hit rock bottom, when they need our assistance, we have no place for them to stay in Waterloo. And when it comes to the income inequality, I can speak to that too. Because it would take a single parent over 50 hours a week, every week, no vacation, no holidays, no sick days, just to reach the bare minimums, to live paycheck to paycheck, never minding any emergencies that come up. As a single person, I'm not that far off from that either because different tax brackets, and I have no child benefits. But I made slightly more than that. I made an affordable wage in this area, which meant that I was able to go into the community and volunteer and actually give back because I love Waterloo so much. So I worry what will happen with them when they get kicked out. We are actually being forced to move outside of the city to find places that can potentially be affordable, but even then, we're running out of places. We'd have to go away from our communities, our friends, our networks, just to find a place to live. It's like, I don't want to leave Waterloo, but sometimes I wondered, when did we stop belonging here? And I do worry about the students. There's a student building next to us, and I'm pretty sure they're more affordable than some of the other units around. And it would break my heart that can't come to one of our universities here because they can't afford to live in this area. What students really want is affordable accommodations, places where they won't end up in debt for years on end. And if there were more affordable units, then we probably wouldn't have to worry about them renting out their dining room in order to make ends meet. What I am asking of the city and for developers that come into here is to really take into consideration the affordable housing that's being removed when developments go up. We can't keep on taking away affordable houses without replacing it with anything. And market rate right now is not affordable. For my current place, I'd be paying about $500 more to live. And right now in Waterloo, it's to get a job that will pay that much because companies either want to pay you minimum wage or you have to be a specialist in some area in which you make over $20. There's really no in-between ground there, and there's far more companies that will only want to pay you minimum wage. And I know it's going to be another kind of kick in the gut every time I have to drive past there and see that there might be empty units that I can't even afford to live in, where my home used to be. It's like I'm around, and I've already seen a tent up in the city for people who can't afford to live in an apartment. And with the storm that happened last weekend, all I can do is hope that they found a dry place to stay. Because the reality is, people who live on the streets don't die of old age. They die of violence, disease. It is really time for the city and the developers to stop treating like just plain numbers. We are people with stories and histories. We need equality and inclusion in this community. We deserve the right to be able to afford to live in this wonderful city. Thank you.
Very powerful.